sent it this time, right? The email on the enchanted items.
You did. I got it this time.
All right, excellent.
And it looked good.
Okay. Then that's what I've got.
All right, sounds fair. And now, hopefully, we're everywhere, and y'all say something, so I'll make sure y'all have audio.
Hi.
Me talking?
Yeah, so people can hear y'all on Twitch this time. All of our bot viewers, because I don't think my friends are tuning in this time. All right, so here we go. Let's see if we can get y'all out of the museum. In previous weeks, we had the adventuring party split all sorts of different ways. One of the new members, Sela Gillette, was stealing an item that Kit had his mind on, and as they both raced upstairs, they faced various problems such as warped lionesses and each other, and chased each other around. And then they met the king of the beasts coming up the stairs at them, and Sela took a hasty exit down the back side of a different staircase, leaving Kit upstairs with Kella Sage and a lioness that she rescued from the warped thing that collar that had been around her neck. And so now this lioness was a little smaller than it had been before, and seeming a little less interested in killing everything that moved around it. A little more tame with Kella there. And so, Kit, what is it that you would like to do? You are on the 3rd floor of the museum, next to the landing, next to the elevator, and the stairs that wind down. And down the hallway, recently disappeared the big king of the beasts, chasing what you supposed to be the Janet Wetherington figure who took the seed artifact that you had been trying to get, and then she just suddenly disappeared into thin air.
That's a good question. And while I had a week to think on it, Kit's only had moments.
It's true.
Something along a desk.
I think you're rubbing your microphone awkwardly, Jared.
I should be rubbing my microphone because it should be my headset.
Every time you move, it's doing something to the microphone.
So Kit's feeling pretty defeated at this point. His hopes and dreams have literally vanished. He's been chased by a lion, and he's without direction. I think what would Kit do? I guess he's going to follow the lion as cautiously as possible, the king lion who had seen said artifact.
Okay. So, as cautiously as possible, you don't want him to know you're coming?
I just don't want to be eaten by a lion. Is really... It seems like a dumb idea, but it's also the only lead he has. So,
all right.
He's keeping a little bit of distance and watching what it's doing.
And Kella's probably Kella is keen on this because she wanted you to save this lion from the warped collar that she says is around his neck, but you couldn't see it because it's got this big mane.
And it was threatening to eat me. So I don't think I'm worrying about that collar anymore.
Right.
I'm not getting close enough to deal with that.
All right. Well, give me a stealth roll to see how cautious you really are.
It would be a 3.
All right. So you tiptoe down the hallway that's leading away from this landing, and go up. And as you get to the end of that hallway, you see the lion, and it's sort of on its back almost. There's this sort of dent in this in a door that you see is where the restrooms are. And as you look around, it seems pretty evident to you that this lion was running down the hallway and then wasn't able to get any purchase really well on the linoleum flooring and kind of skid into the door. It's this huge beast. It's, again, this lion is way oversized from what it should be, and so it's put this massive dent into the doorway there, and it seems to be working on trying to flip itself back up. It's scrabbling a little bit, and it's working on that so hard that it hasn't noticed you yet. Then what would you like to do?
How incapacitated does the lion seem? Like as it's scrambling and flailing, is it paying attention? Do I have a chance to get close enough to look for a caller?
Yeah, you could go up and try to get there, but it's kind of like all paws in the air right now, so it could flip around any direction at any moment.
So Kit looks back at Kella and kind of gives a shrug of like, should I really do something here? Can we just leave it alone?
And she says, we've got to help it. She's coming down the hallway. Quick, now while you can.
Okay, so at the prompting, Kit's going to make a lunge for the jaw of the lion.
All right.
And hopes to find a collar underneath there.
Give me a investigation roll, but you're going to be restricted by your fists, so it's going to be -1 for you.
-1. All right.
But this lion is kind of preoccupied to where you can get to it kind of easy, so you could possibly tag it being there on the floor. Like you said, that was the situation you were trying to use.
Yeah.
To do it. So give yourself really +1 on the overall.
Okay. Sorry, quick mechanics question.
Yes.
If I end up wanting to spend a fate point for a +2, do I have to do that before the roll, or am I able to do that after?
You can do that after if it helps you get there.
Okay. That's a minus. Okay. You said at a +1?
On top of your usual +2 investigation. So you got +3.
Oh, right. Okay, so that's going to be a 4, actually. Because I got a
All right.
+1 from the dice. All right.
That's good enough to do it. Kit shoves both his hands into this mane, starts feeling around, and you find this collar, and you go down there, and you start fiddling with it, and you're able to loosen it out and pull this belt right out. The moment you do that, the lion just starts to shrink, and it's getting smaller and smaller. Now, it doesn't shrink so small that it becomes, comfortable to be next to this massive beast. It's still a big male lion, but he's now just a little bit bigger than you are, not so big that he could pretty much eat half of you in one bite.
Good boy. Good
the
boy.
The other weird thing, as this happens, as he's losing mass, it's like this goo starts dripping off of him, and his fur gets all wet and matted with it as well for a second. But it starts sublimating almost immediately. It starts drying out like, sort of like real quick dry hair gel or something. It just sort of starts. It's wet for a second, and then it just starts going away. And Kella tells you, is really excited that you've gotten this done. She's like, "Great job," And then she starts.
All on today's work, man.
She says, "Now back away before it swipes you."
No, we're friends now. Shh, good boy.
She's not. We're not friends yet. And she starts speaking this chant under her breath and sort of motioning towards the lion. Sela. No, actually, yeah, we'll go down to Sela. You had gotten downstairs to the first floor from the back staircase. You are. It's actually a pretty similar setup from the third floor in that there's bathrooms just to your right, and beyond that, there's a set of there's a set of skylights. This little shimmering tower thing that goes all the way up through the floors to go through the skylights that are on the third floor, and you know that just to the left of everything that you're looking at is the hallway that leads back out to the Foucault pendulum, where you first saw the lionesses facing Kit before you headed upstairs originally. And past that's the main hallway where you're hearing all sorts of hair-raising screams.
Okay. Mila is still wrapped in her veils, right? So she's invisible for all intents and purposes, correct?
You are still invisible. I may make you reassert that the difficulty level of that invisibleness as you move around, and you're also still, as last I checked, in the guise of Janet Weatherington.
Yes, she is. So, well, if someone could see her, she would look like Janet Weatherington.
Right.
Okay. So Sela knows that there is a distraction planned specifically to help her get out of the building. She's not keen on going in the direction of lionesses. She's going to go towards the screaming. She's invisible.
Mm-hmm.
Because normally, if there were normal screams, she would just go as Janet and join the screaming and running. But you told me last time that like something about these screams sounds not right, like real bad wrong. So she wasn't expecting that, so she's going to go ahead and keep her cloaks up and check it out, see if she can get out that way.
All right. So you make your way down the hall with the Foucault pendulum, and it's still swinging back and forth.
I'm not right.
What?
I'm not going that direction.
Oh, I thought you were going to check out which way are you going?
I'm going towards the screaming.
That's the direction the screaming is coming from.
Okay, I was confused. What's the other way then?
There's not really another way up until you get to the center of this room with the pendulum swinging back and forth. Once you're in the center is where the hallway splits in 4 directions. In front of you's where the screams are coming from in the main corridor.
Okay.
Which is just beyond the staircase and the elevator landing ahead. So are you still heading that direction?
I mean, I thought from where I was, if I went left, I would go to the pendulum where there were lions. And if I went right, or whatever the other direction you said, I would go towards the screaming. So she definitely wants to move towards the screaming. She wants to avoid lions. Those are our 2 goals right now.
Well, as soon as you round the corner, you look in that area, all the lions are not in that area anymore. So it's cleared out.
Okay.
And as you keep heading down that way towards you pass the elevator which you'd taken up or would have taken up if it had opened in time before. And the other thing you start to notice as you keep heading forward at this point, the hallway, the floor is covered with toads. Little small toads are everywhere here. And they're so commonplace and they hop at random, it's getting kind of difficult not to run into them every once in a while. But you move nimbly enough that you kind of move past them. And for a moment you've heard a scream or two, but they seem to have silenced a little bit. And as you poke your head into the main hallway, you see a pretty gruesome sight. There's bodies down the hall just a little way. Like up here, actually, kind of next to you, you look down, and there's actually a police officer who is lying on the ground just 5 feet away from you. And it looks like he was trying to run this way. And he's got blood, a blood trail kind of. It's really, he must have dragged himself because it leads back a little bit. And you look further back and you see locked in combat is the bodyguard of Sarah Rosevides. And he's struggling with this other figure. At the same time, you see disappearing into the main theater, which is up a little bit of a stairway direct opposite of you, are just one or two of the guests that had been at the gala. And it looks like Rosevides had been ushering up that way, and she turns and she's being jumped by another figure, which looks kind of like how you're looking at the moment. It looks like Janet Weatherington is attacking her, except a very disheveled and very ashen-faced Janet Weatherington. Also with these dark kind of bruising around her neck area, and her clothing she's clearly been fighting with various things. There's a couple of bullet holes in her chest, but not really any blood coming out of it. It's just kind of just damp. It doesn't look bright red. It looks just more kind of icky.
So
where those
zombie Janet Weatherington is attacking
Sarah Rosevides. And you look further past both of those, and there seems to be another kind of you can see just catching her just at the right size. It looks like Janet's daughter Linda, and her body is mangled and torn apart. It looks like by some sort of creatures. It looks really bad. And next to her is another dead police officer. Or actually, as you look closer, he's not dead. He's clearly bleeding out. He's still alive, but he's kind of twitching a little bit. And so it looks like he's definitely dying. And then you hear this crash to your right, and you look to your right, and the first thing you notice is there's a lot more little toads in this area. And the next thing you notice is there's a couple of very big toads, very humanoid and very big toads, and they are locked in combat with the two lionesses from earlier.
okay. So we have undead Janet Weatherington attacking Sarah Rosevides in one direction. Linda is attacking someone or dead. Like, what's happening with Linda besides her being gross next to a police officer that's bleeding out?
She seems to be dead. She seems to be motionless on the floor. Her body is all torn up. It looks like, as you keep looking at it again, it looks like the lions got to her.
Okay, so but that way doesn't appear to have any bad guys that are alive, right?
At least not ones that aren't currently fighting with someone else. You've got the bodyguard fighting with, as you look again, that must be Mr. Weatherington that he's fighting.
Oh, so yeah, because Sheila wants out. Like, she not interested in engaging anybody or fighting anything. She just wants out and away from the badness. She does. In the event that her veil is pierced, she takes the opportunity right now to change her, what are those called? Her seeming, I guess, like her masks.
Uh-huh.
So she looks like a person she saw in Starbucks yesterday, the barista.
Okay. Give me a deceit roll to set the Starbucks seating.
Okay. Oh, crap, I forgot to get my dice roller up. Sorry, guys. Alrighty, that is going to be a 7. Yeah, +7.
All right. All right. So still hidden beneath your veil, you change your appearance from Janet Weatherington over to this Starbucks barista that you saw yesterday.
Yes.
All right. And that's set at a epic seeming of +7 for somebody to see through that you're not, in fact, the barista. Did you catch the barista's name?
Yes, her name is Candace.
Candace.
She has shoulder-length mousy brown hair. She weighs about 150 pounds. She has a tattoo on her shoulder, which is visible because she's still wearing the same gown that Janet Weatherington was wearing. I mean, it fits her, obviously, because the gown is also fake. But she has a star tattoo on her shoulder.
All right. And now we go back to the red door, where Travis is in the midst of combat or struggle with a humanoid hog man who's trying to get upstairs and get at Baron Ricky Gutierrez, who is the Thane of the Second Ward. Travis is convinced that he's got Ricky scared and intimidated of him, and that he's got Ricky right where he wants him, but he couldn't get Ricky to tell him he was interested in finding out why it was this hogman was attacking him, and he couldn't get any straight answer on that before. The hogman is going to barrel up the staircase at you. You're at the top of the 3rd floor, and he's going to strike at you with his trident. Well, you lucky bastard.
Do I roll athletics to dodge?
Yeah, you can roll athletics to dodge.
And am I correct in understanding I get a +2 from my super speed?
You get +1 from your speed.
Okay. That puts me at a total of +7.
All right. Well, you dodged so well that you can actually put some sort of maneuver on this hog to help yourself.
If he's trying to stab at me with his trident, can we say I move fast enough to direct the trident so that it stabs into the wall, actually blocking the stairs so he can't continue up the stairs?
All right. So you successfully do that. You move, and he's shoved it at where you're supposed to be, and it digs straight into the wall, and he shoved it so hard that it's kind of stuck there for a second. He gets caught in some of the piping and everything else in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then outside of the red door, Gideon, you've been in the parking lot inside a circle that you drew out with chalk at the back end of your what's your car again?
It's the Lincoln Continental.
Yeah, the Lincoln Continental. You've got the trunk up. You had a little spell circle that was going there, and you were sitting there meditating for a while, despite all the crashes and bangs and thuds that were going on inside the red door. You've just finished up your meditation. You have an inkling that that something's gone terribly awry in your plan, but you're not sure where. The vision was a bit hazy, but you're pretty sure that there's been problems, and so you're a little more desperate to get things on the move because you think things are going wrong over at the museum.
Okay, I'm going to stand up, break the circle with my foot, and turn and run back into the club.
All right, roll alertness.
Alertness. Okay, let me see what my stat is on that. Okay. You'd think I'd have better alertness.
You don't pay too much attention because most of the time you don't have to pay attention because you know it's coming.
True. 0.
All right. Is 0 the roll?
0's the total.
0 is your total. Okay. So you're walking towards the door, and your foot suddenly catches on a rock, and you sprawl face first on the ground. So I'm going to have you take 1 physical stress.
Okay.
And you look back to see what it was that tripped you, and there is a piece of white marble. And it's shaped in kind of like a pyramid. It's got very straight edges that kind of come up in a pyramid, but then on the other end, it's got a lot of rough edges. It looks like it's been broken off of something. And you're pretty darn sure it wasn't there a moment ago. As in, you started heading towards the door, and there was not a big white piece of marble in your path. And then suddenly you tripped over something that hadn't been there a second ago.
Can I use my lore skill to maybe figure out if it's significant in some magical or supernatural way? Or if it's just, like, if, or somebody just threw a piece of marble at me?
Yeah, give me a lore roll.
Wow. Okay, that is a total of +2.
Total of +2. There doesn't seem to be anything significantly magical about this rock. The rock itself seems mundane.
Okay. Can't do anything else?
Yeah, you can head inside. You can.
Oh, I can still. Okay.
Yeah, you can still head inside. I just interrupted your heading inside.
Oh, well, I'll shrug my shoulders and continue on inside then.
All right. And as you go inside, you see the big guy who had jumped down before is still locked in combat with the big pig, the real pig, downstairs. And they're banging up. This whole place is getting real messed up. In fact, as you come in, Lalo has grabbed the pig by like its ear and a tusk and has swung it into the bar and is smashing it into the bar. There's no sign of Travis down here. There is a broken parapet on the second floor. You see some pieces of the woods that are hanging down.
Is there any clue to where Travis is gone, other than maybe upstairs?
Yeah, you don't see him around down here.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll try to go upstairs then.
All right, and as you start heading up the stairs, you see a lot of evidence of some fighting that's been handled on the stairs. There's some there's some broken steps and some torn railings and other things that's been going on here. And that then brings us to Travis, who is facing off against the Hogman. Travis, this guy had just shoved his three-pronged fork into the wall, and he looks really pissed off at you.
Is there a way I could use while he's struggling with his pike, that I assume is still on the wall, is there a way I could do a maneuver to trip him up somehow, to cause him to fall down the stairs?
Fall back down the stairs again?
Yeah.
Yeah, the easiest way to get him down the stairs is you'd have to give him a shove, which would be using fists.
Mm-hmm. Why don't I, instead of doing that, why don't I attack him using fists?
Okay.
And I'm going to attack him using fists. And would it cost a fate point for me to think that he's going to be, he's going to be otherwise distracted so he won't see it coming?
No, he's pretty much even as he's sitting here struggling with this thing, his eyes are on you.
Right.
It's part of the reason he's having a hard time getting it out. He's watching you, so that wouldn't be something that you could tag or invoke because it's not there.
Okay.
I mean, you can tag your regular stuff like your high concept or your your things with fists. I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
You could do that. You can also roll and then decide to your fist of fire. You can roll and see what your roll comes up, and if you decide to add more onto it, that's legit too.
Okay. In that case, I want to attack his face, specifically his head, with my flame spike spell.
Okay.
And let's see. Sorry, I'm a little bit fuzzy on calculating power for it. That's power is based on my conviction.
Yes, the power is based on your conviction. Are you using the rote?
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and use the rote spell.
Let's see. You have offensive. Okay, so that's going to cost you. I've got it wrong on my sheet here, but that should cost you 2 mental stress.
My first mental stress is already filled, so it'll put me on the 2 mental stress.
So it doesn't bother you at all that it costs 2 mental stress in general, because it would anyway.
Right.
All right, cool.
And so, what would that put my power at total? Because my conviction is at 4, and then with my ring, my discipline would also be at 4.
Right. That's why it costs the extra stress. It would normally be 1 stress. You're 1 short, so you take an extra mental stress to take it. And you now have a weapon 5 attack with your fists. So you just roll fists to make it happen.
Okay. And then you said I can use an aspect afterwards if I want to?
That's correct.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and invoke my Fist of Fire aspect because my total before that is 3 total. So I add the fate point to make it 5 total.
Uh-huh.
5 total, 5 power, I think. Or 4 power, rather.
Your attack will be added to your fist score, and then it's going to be weapon 5 from the spell.
Okay. So my total after the aspect is 5.
Okay. So you look down at this guy, and your fist burst into flame. And did the road aspect is spell you actually do with 2 attacks? Did you want to do it with just the 1, or did you want to roll 2 attacks like as normal?
Based on my roll, I think rolling a single attack probably be better.
All right. So, as you're staring down at this pig, and this pig has this pig man has beady little red eyes, and they're glowering at you. And you look down at him, and you pull this fist back, and as it comes forward, it's like a meteor coming into the atmosphere. This flame wreath comes in front of your fist, and you strike down at it, and with this absolutely superb attack. And oh wait, And the pig, its eyes widen, and it jerks its head out of the way, and it moves so fast. It's the most fantastic head fake you've ever seen. And in fact, it would succeed at dodging. He got +4 on his roll. Except for the fact that this pig is so big and this room is so small that as it head fakes, he head fakes right into the wall. And so it doesn't get to go far enough. And you punch him right in the eye it would be he matched your defense. So you get the 5 stress off of the attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this pig is so big that you can just feel all the fat and all the stuff around his head just kind of absorbs this blow. But you can tell you've rattled his skull pretty hard with this attack. And then Sela, you see Sarah Rosevides. She's trying to move. She's still trying to block that other person from that. She's trying to block Janet Weatherington from getting up the stairs after the other people. And as you're watching, Weatherington actually tackles her, and she goes to the ground. The two of them go to the ground together. Meanwhile, her bodyguard is struggling with the other figure. They're exchanging blows, and the police officer that's bleeding out on the floor lets loose a little bit of a moan and twitches again. But you seem to be mostly clear to try to pass by that way. There's all the lions and the toads still fighting on the other end. Give me an athletics or fists roll to defend against all the little toads jumping around.
Okay. That is. Well, wait. Is it athletics like for movement?
Yeah. Well, it's not for movement. It's just for dodging.
Okay.
Dodging flying toads that are hopping around.
Okay. Then fists is better, so that's going to be a +3.
Okay. So you managed to, one or two of these toads, they'd be hopping into somebody else who would be sitting in the hallway. They'd kind of see this toad hop, and then all of a sudden kind of roam off in another direction as you bat it away. And then it's your turn. You can go.
Okay. Sela wants out. She wants out right now.
Mm-hmm.
So she moves as quickly as possible to the nearest, safest exit using maybe ask her that. Using, whatever cover or, she takes the smartest route. She doesn't just beeline if that's dumb.
Okay. Yeah, there's the various bodies in their way and some wreckage from the tussle that's been going on. And of course, this whole place is just filling up with toads, which is really strange.
Yeah, she's not okay. Like, she's looking everywhere, freaking out, but trying to keep cool. She just needs to get out right now. Out.
It seems the nearest way out with the least number of things. It's further away, but it has the least number of obstacles is the main entrance at the front.
Fine.
All right, so you start making your way there.
In a rapid fashion.
In as rapid a fashion as possible. Give me an athletics roll.
For movement this time?
Uh-huh.
Yay. Not a very good athletics roll. That's going to be... Wait. With the movement, it turns into... So that's going to be a 3.
It's going to be a 3. And all right, so that's enough to get you past it gets you past Rosvides and the person that she's struggling with. You're having to like shimmy around various things and kind of jump over some chairs and dodge more toads that are hopping around. That gets you just about to the point where that police officer's bleeding out on the floor. Give me update. Let's update your stealth. Let's see how well your veil's holding up.
All right. That is going to be a 3 because I got a -1, right? So
yeah, -1 would be 3. Okay. So so you get just far enough that you're about 10 feet away from this bleeding out police officer. When you notice the mauled corpse of Linda Wetherington suddenly sits up, reaches forward, grabs this police officer, and goes down and bites his neck, and he gives another moan of pain for a second, and then he just kind of just shifts and twitches, while all you hear is the slurping sound of Linda Wetherington drinking his blood. And then as she finishes and kind of lets him down, it's the weirdest you see this odd sight of all these wounds and things not really healing, but they kind of become less gross and sort of more into scars and more into deep gashes that they don't look like they're fresh wounds anymore. They look like there's something that was taken, possibly a day or two ago. And you see it all. You see almost renewed vigor. And Linda kind of sighs, and she's got the blood coming down her chin and her chest. And she stands up and she looks back up the hallway at where the other scuffling's going on with her 2 zombie parents who are fighting Rosvides and the bodyguard. Kit, you are
befriending a lion.
You're befriending a lion upstairs. Kella has managed to calm it. It's just kind of sitting there. And she's the lioness that she had calmed earlier has also come in, and the 2 of them are kind of, cozying up like cats together. And Kella's kneeling in front of both of them and kind of like stroking the big lion's mane, and also the scritching the back end of the lioness and smoothing it back out and keeping them both calm.
So Kit pulls out, reaches in his pocket, and he pulls out some of the food from the gala that he had pocketed before, and kind of approaches cautiously, open-handed towards the big lion, and kind of tries to stroke it a little bit and feed it. And then he looks over at Kella and he's like, "Ask him where the artifact went. Like, can he track it? Can we find out where it went?" And the lion.
And this lion's it's in such an affable state that it totally just sort of gently licks the food right out of your hand. It doesn't bite you or paw at you or anything. It just takes this big raspy tongue and just licks it all in, and then chomping down on it. Kella looks at you. She gives you this look you're kind of used to getting from her by now, which is this look of, "Are you insane?" And
just ask him.
She's never quite sure about you. She says, she's like, I don't have that prepped right now. I can't hear. I don't know what it is they've seen or heard or what they can do. But he wasn't following or on the trail of anything when we came in here. It looked like he got based on his behavior, it looks like he ran into the wall. So I don't think he knows where things are at the moment.
He was looking right at the artifact before it just disappeared. I have to say, this is the weirdest night I have ever had. And Kit kind of pets the mane of the lion. He's like, "You know where it is, don't you? You can show me where it is. Show me where it is, boy. Show me." Then he waits to see if the lion does anything.
Don't do it.
So the lion just lets this big yawn out with its big toothy maw and its tongue coming out.
Useless. All right.
And Kella says, "Okay, so this is 2 out of 4, 2 down, 2 to go.
2 out of 4 what?
There's still the other 2 lionesses. I didn't get their collars off."
They're gone. I don't see any lions here. This is
All right.
this is a good sign. Less lions to worry about.
She's like, the zoo's not going to be happy if I bring them back just 2 of their lions. I got to bring them all 4.
Not really worried about the zoo lions. I really need to figure out how this old lady just evaporated with the artifact that I need. This guy looked at it, and I want him to tell me where it is, because none of this is making sense.
Well, I need him to help me find the rest of his pride, and I'm sure he'll be very good at that. So you can come help me with that, or you can run around looking for things that have disappeared.
Kit walks off to go look for this artifact,
All right. So
grumbling
Are
about
you-
the uselessness of everyone around him.
are you going down? Are you running around here on the 3rd floor looking for it? Are you going down this nearby staircase, or are you going back to the first staircase?
Does he have any clues? I guess his one clue is that he thinks the lion was heading down the hallway before it skidded and dented into the bathroom. But
Right. So it came out. It looked like it was coming out of this hallway and tried to make a turn one way or the other. There's a skylight to the one way. There's staircase to the other way, and so he was trying to turn one or the other direction there.
and there were some pipes there too.
Yeah, the
Right.
pipes lead up to the skylights. Yeah.
Are there any valves? Are there any? So here, I think that Kit's next idea is to try and short circuit whatever military grade camouflage hid this old lady, and so he's going to try and overpressure the fire sprinklers so that they all go off in
Okay.
hopes of just dousing the whole museum in water. Can he do that from those pipes from over there?
Yeah, if you climbed up those pipes and lit a lighter, you could probably set off the alarm system.
Okay.
Wait, I just want to clarify. Kit is going to ruin every artifact in the museum in order to set off the sprinkler system right now?
You're meeting Kit. Yes. This
Okay.
is a one-track mind.
Got it. Sela was wrong about you.
Huh?
Sela was wrong about you.
So what
All
do I need to roll to set off the sprinklers here?
Give me an athletics roll to. Oh well, this is 2 things. No, I think it's mostly is your athletics to crawl up there and light it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say the difficulty is good.
Okay. Haha. So I have a 3.
All right, so that's good enough. That makes it. So you scramble up these pipes, pull a lighter out of your pocket, and you hold it there under the sprinkler until it heats up and it goes off. Suddenly, more alarms are going off, and water starts pouring everywhere. The lion down below looks up at you balefully because he's not happy about being wet.
Should have showed me where the artifact was, lion. This is your fault.
But you also look around. You don't see you don't see any figure or anything that appears out of this camouflage.
And Kit's still sad.
Downstairs, Sela, you're sitting there, and things were bad enough when suddenly water starts pouring over everyone.
Yeah, Sela is done.
Give me another stealth roll.
How far away is the door? Like,
The door is about 3 zones away at the moment.
okay. You want a stealth roll?
Uh-huh.
I'll give you a stealth roll. Oh, I will give you a stealth roll. That's amazing. That's going to be a 7.
All right. So the water starts pouring down, and you manage to like step over to the side underneath a banner or something to where you have to deal with less flying water to maintain your Vel, and there's not any obvious footprint puddles or anything. So Rosvides seems to be it's harder to tell now with all the water in the air. It's hard to see, but you can see her struggling with Janet Wetherington still. Her bodyguard seems to be having a hard time as well. What are we talking here? Two, 3. All right, yeah. He's not. He doesn't seem to be succeeding very well against his person, and Linda is standing just about at this point. She's about 5 feet away from you, and it looks like she's gonna head up the hall away from you. So you're clear to the front door. You think you can get there. You might have to run for it if you want to get there this turn.
She'll do that.
All right, give me an athletics roll.
Reconnaissance completed.
Okay, that's going to be... Wait.
Partial project complete.
Okay, I'm just making sure that I understand how this works. I rolled a +2, and I think because of her athletics, and her traits, she gets, so that should be a +4.
Construction complete.
You rolled 2.
Yeah.
It'll actually be 5 because when she's sprinting all out, she doesn't just +1. She gets an extra. She gets a +2.
Yeah, but her athletics is average.
So her athletics is 1. You rolled 2, so that makes 3.
Oh.
And when you do an all-out sprint, you get another 2 for your speed. So
Gotcha.
that's 5.
Okay.
So that's enough to get you to the front door. Not quite through it, but to it. Roll alertness.
Okay. So her alertness is just what it is.
Yeah.
So that's just 1 because my roll was a wash. But Sela is definitely going to be invoking her paranoia trait or whatever. How do I say that?
Yeah, you're invoking your aspect of paranoid, probably.
Yeah.
And so you pay a fate point. So take one of your fate points away off your number of fate points that you have.
How many did we have?
You started with 3, so you got 2.
Okay.
And keep track of that because I'm not. And that's good enough to see. They're not. It doesn't even look like they're trying to hide too much. There is a line. They make sort of that whatever that sound was. You hear this, and there's big toadmen that are all up on the stairs and across every single one of these doors at the main entrance. And it looks like they're about to break in from this end too.
Okay, Sela is looking for a way through, around, over, not run over by toadmen. Like that's the goal.
So the doors in front of you, there's a set of 6 glass doors and a few more plate glasses in each place where there's like a pane, for lack of a better term, when there's a doorway or a window pane, there's a toadman at each one, and they are about to break through here and enter through this side of the hall. Behind you, or behind you, Linda Weatherington, or at least her undead monstrous version of her, goes and joins with her father and tries to break Rose Vidis's bodyguard. And that brings us back to Kit.
All right. Kit probably isn't far from that skylight, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't take you too much to get up that.
I think he's going up on the roof through the skylight.
All right, give me a burglary to get up through the skylight.
Okay. Excuse me.
Promises completed.
Burglary is here. That's a 2.
That's just enough.
Yes.
The difficulty was fair, so you make it through the skylight. You're now up on the roof.
All right. Kit's looking out, just surveying the area. His assumption is that whoever disappeared on him, however that technology is working, nobody likes to be wet. So he's assuming that everybody's leaving the museum now. And so he's looking for his opportunity to head in the right direction.
Okay. So you're gonna try to move to the edge to take a look over and see where they leave. All right.
Or if I'm depending on the shape of the roof, he's looking for kind of the highest point to get as much of the lay of the land as possible.
All right. So you start heading that way to the biggest look. Travis, the hogman who you've knocked silly down the stairs once, and who you just punched in the face and is burned a little bit the side of his jowls. He goes ahead and he wrenches that he rolls to wrench that weapon back out of the wall, and then levels it at you. But that's his turn, and you have a chance to go.
Did we ever establish what my chain belt is made out of?
Anomaly found.
Nope.
I assume some sort of metal. Could we perhaps say it's some sort of, iron metal?
I think that matches with the spirit of your character.
I think so as well. I would like to do a maneuver. I think this would be a maneuver. I'm going to try to is there any lingering effect from me punching him so hard in the face? Is he still a little bit shaken, rattled?
No, you gave him 5 stress from that hit.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lingering effect from when you knocked him down the stairs earlier, and he's got the knocked silly aspect that was sticky from how hard that maneuver hit.
Okay. Have I utilized that aspect yet?
Yes.
So to use it again would be a fate point. I would like, I'm fairly certain I'm going to regret this. I would like to jump over his head and use my iron belt to catch him around the neck and try to pull him backwards down the stairs.
Okay.
As
So
a maneuver more so than an attack.
So you're gonna try to pull him down this. You're trying to make him fall back down the stairs again.
Yeah, and less of a strength maneuver, more of a, it burns us sort of maneuver.
Okay, so utilizing the surprise of the cold iron around him.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Go ahead and give me. We'll give you a fists, and then I would say, yeah, give me a fists for loop, or actually, give me a weapons attack to use this chain, but you can modify it by your athletics because you're using your athletics to get around. So it's going to give you. It's going to give you a +1 bonus. I think you wouldn't normally have any weapons, but you get a +1 bonus from your athletics.
Do I get a bonus from speed also?
Not for this particular thing.
If I get a +1, then my total is +2.
All right, and then you're using the cold iron to give you some advantage. So go ahead and make it, and you're tagging that for +4. +1, which is good enough to set this maneuver because you tied his defense. So he tries to hold fast, but it's burning so much that he tumbles back and starts and sort of tumbles down the stairs. Gideon, you look up, you hear this big thud ahead of you, and you see a massive pig man tumbling down the stairs towards you.
Okay. I unsheath the sword from my cane, and I'm going to use one of the activations for it.
Okay.
To make an attack.
So you're gonna try to spit this pig tumbling down the stairs.
Yeah, somewhere vital. All right, so it is. It automatically goes off at 4 because my lore. I don't need to control it because it's an item use.
But you do need to roll weapons to target.
Yes.
Oh, now he rolls well.
Each shift of power is added to the attack roll. So I automatically start with a 4 on it, plus my weapon skill. Right?
No, the way this one was you wanted it to stack on top, so it's going to be a +4 on top of your. It helps you actually with the targeting of the strike. The sword itself is helping seeing where the pig is about to fall and adding on top of the strike.
Okay, so I rolled a +2. My weapon stat is +2 also, and
then the sword's going to add +4. So you have this legendary sword strike to just skewer the pig from end to end. Yeah. A sword should be. Darn it. I think it's weapon 3.
well, the wording of the spell we crafted for this was it's a chance to hit against the opponent or its damage Oh, well, okay. Yeah, each shift of power is added to the attack roll.
Right.
So I guess
And that's going to
okay.
So it doesn't increase the weapon rating like a lot of spells do, because you're not hitting it with any magic. You're hitting it with the sword, but the magic is that this magical sword itself is guiding the strike to make it more accurate. So it becomes a legendary attack, and I think the sword itself is what, weapon 2, weapon 3?
Let's go with 2 for now.
I'm pretty sure it's weapon 2. So that's going to do. This guy rolled +2 on his defense, and he has a regular defense of 2, so 4. So he brought it down to 4 shifts. So it's a 4-shift hit with weapon 2 rating. So you have a 6 stress on him. So you give him a severe consequence of skewered. All right. And the pig.
If I have anything else to do about it, I want to try to like also get out of the way of the, the pig tumbling down the stairs.
All right. So the pig lets out this horrific squeal as you skewer him practically from end to end. You just time it right out there, and then he's gonna turn and take a stab at you with his weapon. And that's going to be a -2 on his. So it's going to be an average weapon attack. It's kind of hard for him to lean around. You can defend with athletics, or you can defend with your own sword with weapons as well.
Can I guess I can't defend with an item, like one of the spells.
No.
Okay. So I can defend using weapon or athletics.
Mm-hmm.
I think weapon will give me the best chance there, so we'll defend with the weapon. And that gives me a +1 total.
All right, so he's gonna. That's enough to match you, and so you start to deflect it, and you do manage to keep it from being one that would hit you right in the gut. But he kind of like almost catches your shirt and everything. You're gonna take 1 physical stress from this.
Okay, if I've already got 1 physical stress, does it go to the next box?
That's correct.
Okay.
And then I'm going to let Travis have a turn. Travis, you just knocked this pig down the stairwell. You heard it crash down, and then it gave out a squeal. It seems like it got hurt pretty darn bad.
Am I still at the top of the stairs?
You are halfway down the stairs. You had jumped past it and used your weight to leverage it past you. Was my understanding.
Then it's fallen past me, so I'm still on the stairs and he's at the bottom of the stairs?
Right, and it fell past you, it tumbled and around the corner. You haven't seen this exchange with Gideon and the pig.
So I do not have line of sight on the pig?
That's correct.
Darn.
Unless you walk around the corner.
In walking around the corner, am I still up on the stairs looking down?
Uh-huh. Gideon and the pig are both on the stairs.
So they're not at the bottom of the stairs, they're actually on the stairs?
Yeah, they're both on the stairs.
Okay. In that case, is the pig's still standing?
You don't know. It's around the corner.
Okay. Based on the sound I heard, it sounded like the pig injured itself somewhere. And so I want to run around the corner and hit the pig with a non-magical fist attack, if possible, trying to locate where it's been injured and hit it in its soft spot.
Okay, so you jump around the corner and you look and you see that it's locked in combat with that older guy earlier who was offering you some sort of meat candy or something.
Yeah, the creepy dude wanted to give me meat candy to get into his van.
Yeah. He's fighting the pig, and it looks like the pig's been injured. You can see this gaping wound that kind of goes in one end of the pig and comes out the other end, and and was sliced and bleeding pretty hard. So you could totally strike him in that wound. You can tag that.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Okay.
So would that be a fists check?
That would be a fist check. That's correct.
+1 for speed?
+1 for speed. No, that's for defense.
Okay.
Best defense is a good offense.
It's true. I get a +4 total.
You get a +4 total. I kid you not, I just rolled 4 5s on my die. So that's +4 just there, and his athletics is enough to bring him past the edge there. So you go to punch him, and he turns and he whirls himself out of the way and lets you punch the wall. And he growls he gives you this guttural growling oink, and he says, "I know you. I know who you are. I see it now." He's looking at you, Travis.
That's because I'm the pig slayer, dude.
All right. And he says, "You are the one who has harvested my kind."
Because pork chops are good.
And he lets out this oinking roar, and like you do.
Sorry, that's a great description. I like it.
Not a roaring oink, mind you, an oinking roar.
And he seems enraged, and he just kind of swings his trident after you, but it just slams into the wall. It's just he just seems to be wild with rage at this point. Sela, you were trying to decide how you're going to get out of here now that there's a bunch of toadmen in front of you.
Yes. So they're about to come in the building, right? So Sela wants to get away from that. Is there like how big are they? Could she get like up on a pedestal or something and let them? She's invisible, so hopefully they won't know she's there, and then maybe they can run past and she can hop out and leave.
Well, I mean, as you were standing there, they all start banging against the plate. One or two of these windows break as they bang on them, and they're starting to come in, and they're kind of taking the whole space. They break out of pain, and then they put their little toady fingers on, and they're just moving their big bulk through these windows.
Okay. Is there not like a service entrance or something? She spent all day casing this joint, and I feel like it has not done her any good.
So there was sort of a service entrance out the side of the theater that it looks Rosvides sort of had it looked like one or two patrons were going into the theater, and you know that from inside the theater there's another kind of service entrance from the side, but that would be having to run past Rosvides and her bodyguard who are fighting the undead Wetheringtons.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
The other nearest service entrance is through the gift shop, but it's got that big display of Skittles. And then the other service entrance that you scouted out all the way at the opposite end of the museum from where you're at.
Okay. Sela takes a look around her and decides that whatever trap is waiting for her with the Skittles display, it cannot be as bad as toadmen and zombies, vampires, and water, and all of the lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, she's done. Like, this is over. We're out. So
all right.
How far away does she have to go through anything terrible to get to the gift shop? Because She will not go anywhere near Linda and her. Like, any of the Wetheringtons are definitely not going to be someplace she's going to go. She's not keen on these Toadmen either.
The butterfly men.
No, there's this kind of area here is it seems kind of clear to that door, to the archway that would lead back to the gift shop. So there's not really much there. There's Toadmen that are clearly in front of you. This is behind you. And as they break out the windows, not only are they coming in, but more of the little toads are coming in as well. But behind you, there's not any little toads. There's this is where the gala was. You just have to wind your way through these tables and go into a hallway, and then there's another hallway that you'll take down to where the gift shop is, and then and so you've got a clear path.
Okay, she starts to do that. As she's moving, can she make a lore check?
Yeah. What would you like to check?
She wants to know how smart Toadmen are.
Okay. Roll your lore. It's -1 because you're having to think while running and doing other things. So you're juggling a lot of thoughts.
Okay. Well, fortunately, it was a good roll. Let's see here. And she's got, so that's going to be a 4.
Okay. Toadmen are kind of local guardian fae a lot of the times. She knows that, and she also knows. Let me see. They're not. It's not like they're not stupid like trolls or something like that. But they're not intelligent. They're not going to be winning episodes of Jeopardy anytime soon. They're not terribly easy to get past a lot of the time because they're pretty alert and watchful. But they're not very intelligent, and they're certainly not very smooth with like fine manipulation of their hands or anything. They're just they're almost bestial in a lot of respects.
Okay. So, and how many of them are there? They're blocking the exit, but like, as they come through, if she were able to move through them, could she get past them and then get out this way, where she already is?
Give me another alertness.
Where's the dice roller? That's just what it is. So am I still getting the benefit of tagging paranoia?
No.
Okay, so then it's just what it is. It's 1.
Okay, these guys that are coming in the doors aren't the only Toadmen. It looks like there's more just past them.
Okay. Sela manipulates her seeming again.
All right, you'll have to hold up on that. Because upstairs, Kit is walking to a vantage point on the roof, and he looks out, and he can see, for the most part, you can see at the front entrance, there's some dark figures kind of coming into the museum instead of out of the museum, which is kind of confusing because that's not the direction of things you expected to see. You see next to the theater area, there are some people who are running out of the museum. It looks like various gala attendees, and they look pretty panicked. They're like in a dead sprint. And that's what you can see at the moment.
So Kit's going to head towards the roof above the theater exit where everyone seems to be leaving to try and get a vantage point to see if you can tell.
As you move your way, you reach the edge of this sort of roof section that you're on, and the theater roof is further below you, and it's almost about the same height, but it's also removed. In between the two, there's a section of lower roof that's roofed glass, and as you look down there, there's some broken glass. It looks like either there was a hailstorm or somebody like literally broke into the museum through through that glass roof there. And give me alertness or investigation.
Let's go with alertness. Oh, yeah. That's a 7.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I rolled all pluses.
Okay.
How many dice did you roll?
4. My alertness is 3, making a 7.
So you look down and you've got just the perfect angle that is through the broken glass, through parting mist of the sprinklers that are going off. And in fact, they start to shut off, and they're not, they're just dripping. So you get this clear line of sight. And what you see is 3 Black Court vampires fighting Sarah Rosevides and her bodyguard. And her bodyguard has got one of them in a grapple and is trying to choke it out, which isn't going to really work very well because it's undead, so it can't really choke out. But then there's 2 more female Black Court vampires, and one of them's tackled Sarah Rosevides, and the other one's about to try to bite her and attack her. And so if somebody doesn't help her soon, she's gonna probably, her bodyguard's not gonna be able to get to her because he's still struggling with the other one. So you see that whole scene unfold. You also notice off to the right, you see the lionesses, and they're struggling with some figures that look very similar to the figures that were pouring into the museum from the front. And actually, with that alertness, you can tell those are all toadmen, which you hadn't seen before now. And
do I get any clues on the actual like artifact that I'm looking for?
And the actual artifact, you don't have any clues on that, though.
Okay. Because I'm pretty sure Kit doesn't care about old rose feces, and
it's true. Of course, if you stand by and do nothing, she'll probably end up hurt, pretty bad.
But that's the price you pay when you work for the collector, I would assume, is where Kit's at.
All right. But will he be able to sleep with himself in the morning?
Whoa.
Sorry, that phrasing didn't help the fact that I know that Kit's been walking around with this
phrasing
fertility wand. So.
Fertility wand. So yeah. I feel like, a regular person, could just stand by and let Rosevides get hers. But I'm not sure if a good man could let that happen.
Okay. Are there any ropes attached to these holes in the glass? Is there any way down into the fray?
You're
for a mere mortal man.
Yeah, you're looking down. You think you can make it down this wallway pretty well. It's kind of canted a little bit, so it's not too steep. And then next to one of the broken glasses is actually one of those relief banners that had the fertility exhibit, advertisement pictures on it. So you could probably shimmy down that pretty easily.
Okay. And then did we determine whether or not Kit was able to bring his pistol with him?
That was left in Kella's trunk.
Where did we park the car?
It's out in the parking lot, which is past the front entrance.
Okay. Kit has to act, and he can't wait because he's an immediate kind of person. So I think that he rears back with this fertility wand and hurls it like a javelin at the struggle going on with Rosevides.
Okay.
Aiming for the old woman that Kit has been looking for.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you get a that's a weapon roll,
Of which he has none.
of which you have none.
But he must act. So,
But you can have 2 fate points.
yay. So that's good. 2. I'll spend 1 fate point to make it a 4. And I'll bank the other one, presumably. Unless I can't
right.
spend more than 1 at a time. I can't remember.
You can. You just have to invoke multiple aspects. You
Right.
can't invoke the same one.
Okay.
So you had 4,
Mm-hmm.
and Undead Weatherington got a -1 on her roll, so you have a 4 shift hit, and you do, including the weapon rating of this metal dildo, you do 5 stress. 1, 2, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, sure. So you bonk Weatherington on the head, and she kind of cranes her head around, looks all the way up, and tries to figure out where this rod came from that just beamed her in the noggin. And Rosevides uses that opportunity to kind of shimmy away from Weatherington, who had been holding on to her. Linda comes down. What a crappy roll, Linda. Yeah, Linda tries to swipe at Rosevides as she shimmies away and misses. Let's see if her bodyguard can finally... That's it.
I'll be right back.
Yep, not enough undead. The bodyguard, who's got the other vampire, Sela, as you look back, you're contemplating your various options and which ways to go. You glance back up and you see the bodyguard who's had this undead in a chokehold actually has his fist on one side of this vampire's head, and he rips like this, and he rips the undead's head clean off and drops both the head and the body, and the undead goes to the floor. And then we're going to go back to the Hogman had just taken a swing at Travis and missed. Gideon, it's your turn.
This thing is still going, huh?
This Hogman is still going. You skewered him pretty good, but he is massive, and he's got a lot of flesh, and he seems to be able to take some hits because of it.
Can I make a lore check to maybe figure out what this guy is, or who he's what faction he might be working for, or something like that, or just some information about him?
You could. That would be your action. Talking is a free action, and Travis might know.
Yeah, I don't think I was doing very good talking to Travis. Yeah, I'd probably be less likely to talk to him than I would try to figure it out. So I'll just...
Okay.
You know what? We're going to go ahead and make another strike at him.
Okay.
I'll try to do...
That's your sword's second use, right?
Yes. All right, that time it's just a +4.
Wow. That must have been a bad roll.
He has a -2.
All right. That's a 0 on this roll. So, all right. So that's a 1, 2, minus 1. So 1, 2, 3. Plus the sword we were saying was weapon 2.
Yeah, 2.
So that's gonna be a 5 stress hit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rolls up. All right, that one kind of slashes across the pigs, and he kind of like barely manages to block it with the back end thing. You're inflicting stress on him. Travis, your turn.
Welcome back, old man.
We have to go. It's time to leave.
I hear you, but we're kind of in the middle of something.
Let's make this fast. Finish this thing off already, kid.
I agree. Let's make this fast. How should we work together, you think?
You keep hitting it, and I'll keep stabbing it.
Great plan, Pig Sticker. Are we still located on the stairs, or have we moved to one of the level floors?
So you're the pig's in the middle of the stairs. Gideon's kind of like on the first couple of steps, and you're on the landing there. And the behind Gideon is the second floor. From down on the first floor, you're still hearing occasional bangs and oinks as Lalo struggles and fights with Big Bacon down there.
Okay. I'm gonna try to punch him in his wounded gut again. It should be hopefully easier to hit since he's doubly wounded now.
You can do, if you want to invoke his wound at this point, it costs a fate point.
How about if I invoke his new wound?
He doesn't have a new one yet in terms of mechanics.
Didn't he just get stabbed again?
He did, but he had enough.
It's not a consequence. It's just stress, right?
He had enough physical stress to be able to take it. Barely. You've now filled out his.
I was going to say that should have been his 7th stress bar or stress box. So that's neat.
If that's the case, decent odds I'm going to regret this. Let me use my fire spell and punch him real hard again. I'll use my my rote spell to.
All right. So you'll take 3 mental stress because it's got to roll up into that.
Right.
And then use fist to target.
Since I'm taking 3 mental stress, can I push the power up one, or would that kind of defeat the purpose of the rote?
Yeah, at that point, I mean, you can just, at that point, it's not the rote spell, but it doesn't really change anything from the way it works mechanically. Actually, no, it does, because you've got to roll to control it. So if you change it, you've got to roll to control it.
No, we'll just stick with the rote then. And I roll fist.
Uh-huh.
And you said no speed bonus?
Yeah, no speed bonus for your attacks. That's only defense.
In that case, my total is +2 before we add in the spell.
Okay, well, his movement to dodge it was just an average athletics to dodge. So you hit him with 1 shift plus the shifts of the spell, which is 5.
I think so.
Yeah. So that's a 6 shift hit, and that's enough to kill him. So tell me about how you land this punch.
Well, since this is magically powered, I run up to him, and I'm still and I run up to him, and I run up specifically to the gaping wound in his belly, and I thrust my hands forward to punch him, but at the same time I'm doing the whole Hadouken move right up against his belly, and the fire surges out, and he goes stiff for a moment. There's the delicious aroma of cooking bacon, and he just screams, looking up toward the ceiling as flame erupts up out of his mouth, and he just gets crispy from the inside out.
And smoke comes up out of his ears and out of those beady little things, and he thuds as Gideon takes one step out of the way. He thuds, bam, down against the staircase.
And then I cry out to all the people in the club who are still around, because I assume they're kind of trapped upstairs. And I'm like, pork chops for everyone.
All right. Sela, how are you going to get out of here? You've got the Toadmen pouring in that front door. It looks like Rosvides and her bodyguard are getting a little bit better situation over there. There's Rosvides is still on the ground, moving away from those undead, but her bodyguard killed the other one. Are you still wanting to head out the gift shop?
So one of the undead is dead, right?
It looks like it.
Undead being dead. So I think what Sela wants to do is blend into the Toadman crowd.
Okay.
And so she goes like behind a pillar or, a staircase or something, a desk, whatever, where, the Toadmen are coming through. And she's just kind of, she's invisible now, so she's going to kind of crouch down. And then when nobody's really paying attention, she's going to kind of manipulate her cloak so that she looks like one of these Toadmen. And then she's just going to kind of stand up and join the shuffle, except she's gonna try to work her way towards an exit using the mob as like cover.
All right. So these Toadmen are shambling in, and as they shamble in, you duck behind this little privacy curtain that was set up for the banquet earlier, where they had like dishes and stuff, and you duck behind that, and then you come back out, and you're a Toadman too, and you're shambling forward with the rest of them, but really mostly kind of in place because you're waiting for them to shamble past you, and then you can just kind of duck out. Go ahead and give me a deceit roll for the Toadmen not to notice.
If she has to be moving like in a direction, she's going to try to angle towards the theater.
Okay. So you're moving slowly, pretty slowly with the crowd towards, but more towards the theater, whereas they seem to be making a more central beeline.
I mean, yeah, she's either trying to hang back or, kind of angle in that way. She's definitely trying to separate herself from the group, but not in a way that's going to get her noticed. Like, if she's going to blow her cover, then she'll shamble with them. She got a 5 on her deceit roll.
Okay, that seems to be good enough. The Toadmen are just shambling in, as we discussed, and you blend right into the crowd with them.
Awesome.
All right. And so they make their way up the hallway, and you're making your way up the hallway with them. And now at this point, you guys are kind of reaching closer to the struggling Rosvides and her bodyguard, who's fighting with the undead version of your former alias, Janet Weatherington, and her undead daughter, who you saw take the last lifeblood of the cop earlier in order to get moving again. Kit, it's your turn. Oh, Kit left. I forgot. All right. In that case, let's go back to the red door. You guys have taken out the taking out that hog man. You've got a moment to decide what to do.
Travis,
How do you know my name?
I'll tell you later.
Doesn't make you less creepy, dude.
Yeah, I know. There are things going on in which you're playing a major role. I need you to come with me. The entire city may be at stake. It's vital that you come with me right now.
Certainly does not make you less creepy. What? Try to give me.
Did you just
something
like?
that's
Oh,
going
wait. Didn't you just like Hadouken a pigman? This
I've seen Pigman
is this
before.
really
I'm not
that?
getting
Is this
super
really
far.
that weird? Is this
I see
really
the
that
left-out
weird?
Windows.
I'm literally the most normal thing in this bar.
At least tell me where we're going.
Going to the museum to save your friends, to save some others, other key players.
Yeah, fine, I guess. I'd like to call up the stairs to Ricky and say, "Hey, I got the Pigman for you. I'll let you take out the trash, and I'll be back later."
All right. Gideon, make a lore roll.
+4.
All right. You have a sudden vision, and you realize that one of your key players, one of the ones that you're looking for, Kaitlyn Rogers, has been stolen by the Black Court, based on your foresight.
Okay.
How do you react as you have this sudden influx of this knowledge? Because that was part of what you were hoping to get to the museum in time to stop.
Let's see. I look probably even more annoyed and say, "We're already too late to save one. We need to hurry and try to save the rest."
Well,
All right.
what are we waiting for?
Oh, okay.
All right. So y'all head
Yeah.
down the stairs. As you get to the first floor, you see Lalo has finally gotten the better of Big Bacon down there, and is sort
It's
of,
about time. What a slacker.
and he's sitting there. He's breathing. He just sort of watches you. He doesn't really make any movement to stop you or do anything to interfere. And as y'all get out into the parking lot, there's the car there, and y'all are good to go if that's where you want to go.
Yeah. As far as the ritual goes,
It's good.
okay, we're already good to go. All right, so we hop in the car and make best
As we
speed
get
to
into
the
the car, I
museum.
notice, dude, the inside of this car is seriously black, dude. You have strange taste in decorating.
It's easy
All right.
to keep. It's easy to keep clean.
And Gideon backs out of the spot and peels rubber, getting out of the red door, and he speeds off to the museum where Kit and Sela are struggling with hordes of toadmen and other problems. And that's where we'll be next week.
Okay, finally getting the group back together.
Yeah.
Make things a lot easier.
Yeah, it'll be nice having y'all all in one place.
Now,
Real.
while he's driving, I want to grab his sword, cut the car in half so we veer in opposite directions going down the street.
The sword, the sword's back in the cane.
Okay.
That's another reason why you never let us switch parties. It's really hard for the GM to manage.
Yeah.
Like 5 scenes at once.
Oh man, this will be so much better. All right, so we'll pick that back up next week. I will stop here.
All right, guys. See you